Welcome, everyone. This is our next installment of In Conversation. I'm super excited to have Melissa Ambrosini here. You know me, I'm Jim Curtis, head of brand here at the Institute of Integrative Nutrition and host of Business Basics and In Conversation. So I'm thrilled because Melissa is one of my favorite personal development gurus. She's host of the top-rated Melissa Ambrosini show and best-selling author of Mastering Your Mean Girl, Open Wide, and so much more. So Melissa, so happy to have you here. Thank you.
Oh, I'm so excited to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
And today we're talking about something that I follow you on Instagram.
Thank you.
I follow your husband on Instagram. I
Thank
follow
you
your
so
lovely
much.
relationship on Instagram. And it's kind of, I think a lot of people probably see you guys as kind of something that they want to emulate. But what I read from you and what I see a lot from you is that it starts first with kind of self-love. And like, how do you get there? What do you mean by that?
Yes, it absolutely does start with self-love. Because I've kind of tried to do it the other way. I've tried to be in relationships and not love myself first, and then it didn't really end up very well. And that is because, like, in order for someone else to love us, we have to love ourselves wholeheartedly first. And in my late teens, in my early 20s, I had no idea what self-love was. I had no idea what self-care was. And I was doing the complete opposite of all of those things. And I actually hit rock bottom in 2010, and I ended up in hospital with my health completely taken away from me. And it was there in that hospital in October 2010. I had a whole host of health issues, from chronic fatigue, adrenal fatigue. My entire immune system had shut down. And I had this long list of health issues. And it was there in that hospital bed, I had my mum and my dad beside me, that I realized something quite powerful. And that was that I was responsible for getting myself there in that hospital, and I was the only person who could get myself out. And from that moment, I made a commitment to myself to get healthy and happy again. And I had some friends at the time, they sent me a care package to the hospital because they lived in a different state. And in that care package was a book that changed my life. And that book was Louise Hay's You Can Heal Your Life. And I remember reading this book in the hospital, and I turned to my mum and I was like, why haven't you told me this? Why haven't you told me or taught me about self-love? And why haven't you showed me all of this, and that we can choose love instead of fear? And my mum just looked at me and she said, Melissa, I was doing the best that I could, and I still am. And she is. We're all doing the very best that we can. But in that moment, it was literally like a light bulb had gone off in my head. And I was like, okay, I just need to get happy and healthy again. Right. And one of the first things I did was enroll in IIN straight after I got out of hospital. That was one of the first things I did, because I had my best friend was enrolling in it. And she said to me, I'm doing this course and you might really like it, because I just started getting into health and wellness. And she sent me the link and I was like, yep, I'm in. So we then enrolled for like the next class, which was maybe early 2011. And we did the course together and we absolutely loved it so much. Like, people often say to me, did IIN really change your life? Like, because I say IIN changed my life. And I'm like, yes, it changed my entire life. Like, I would not be where I am today without it. It put me on my path. And I went from sick in hospital, so unwell and so unhappy, to finding wellness for the first time in my life. And my eyes were just open wide. And you know, all the stuff that you learn, and then the friendships that you get and the people you meet, like, it is life-changing. And I'm so glad that I did it, because it put me on my path back then.
I didn't introduce you as such, but I should definitely introduce you as Melissa IAN grad. That's an amazing story. And oftentimes people find themselves at the bottom of the barrel, the hitting rock bottom, and then things come. You manifest what you need, and you get the education that you need. So I'm so happy to hear that.
Yeah, it's amazing.
So you really feel like it helped you move on to the next stage of your life and get to where you are now.
Yes, exactly. Because at that time, I was actually a professional dancer and I did acting and TV presenting. And I knew that that career for me was coming to an end. It wasn't lighting me up like it used to. I
Mm-hmm.
danced since I was 3 years old, and it just wasn't, it didn't have that same fire in my belly that it used to. And so I'm in hospital, so unsure about what the next career move was. I was like, I don't really enjoy acting and dancing and TV presenting anymore. Like um it's a hard industry to be in. For anyone who's been in it, you'll know it's very competitive. It's quite challenging. And so IIN just like presented itself to me on this platter, and I found something, health and wellness, and was introduced to yoga and meditation. And I found something else that for the first time in my whole life lit that fire in my belly like dancing did when I was younger. And I thought, oh my gosh, I'm so grateful to have found a second thing in my life that has done that. Because some people, they don't find that thing, or they find it a lot later in life, or they maybe only have one of those things. And I was like, so grateful that I found a second thing that just excited me as much as performing did many years before. And I just dove head first into the world of health and holistic nutrition and meditation and personal development and spirituality and yoga. I went to every seminar and workshop that I could. I read every book. I just became obsessed with this world because I started to feel good again. I
Mm-hmm.
started to have energy. My skin cleared up. I wasn't fatigued. All of these health issues slowly started to resolve themselves. And I was like, what is going on here? But I just kept on putting one foot in front of the other. And I still am. I'm still putting one foot in front of the other every single day as I discover more about myself and more about this beautiful wellness world.
Yeah. Well, I love that story. It inspires me. I have a story that's similar to it because I had health issues too and started to find wellness. And, you just have to take one step to the next. And it's a calling. You'll find it. As soon as I started to get in touch with a higher power and take care of myself and love myself a little bit, things started to fall in place. And then I eventually found myself at IAN leading the company. So, super excited to have you as part of it. And I love that story. There's something, I have so many questions for you, but a lot of times people talk about self-love as accepting yourself. And then I've been seeing a lot of podcasts with some of Lewis Howes and others that are like, okay, but you can't just accept yourself, or else you won't move forward. You won't be able to reach your goals. Sometimes you have to improve yourself. So how do you differentiate from like, okay, I love myself. I may be overweight. I may be healthy. I may be sick, and I'm okay with that. And I'm okay. I am okay and accept who I am now. How do you kind of connect that with, but I also need to take these steps to improve, to get to the future self I want?
Yeah, that's a really good question. And I was thinking back to my own journey. It very much, for some people, like self love and self acceptance may seem so far away from them. And so you first need to kind of start with right now in the present moment, like what are you grateful for? I think gratitude is a great place to start. Like, I'm grateful I have two hands that I can be very animated and talk when I'm talking, or I'm grateful that I have two legs that can carry me through my day, or two eyes that I can see you with. And I think gratitude is a great place to really build your foundation of self-love. And then I think there is very much you wanting to continue to grow and learn and evolve, which is very important because we are here on earth to awaken, to grow, to evolve our consciousness. We're not here to stay stagnant. And so if we go, yeah, okay, cool, I love myself, I don't need to do anything else, like might be a little bit boring. It might be a little bit boring if we're not growing and stretching ourselves and evolving. But the difference is you're doing it from a place of love and acceptance as opposed to a place of fear. So there's a difference between I love myself, I don't need to do anything because I'm perfect and my life is, I can just stay here and cruise. And then there's I love myself so much that I want to be the best and the shiniest version of myself. And I want to continue to grow and learn and have an open mind and evolve, because that's what we're here for. That is why we're here on earth, is to grow and evolve and not just sit back and go, okay, cool. Yeah, I love myself and I don't need to do anything. We're here because we need to expand, but not from a place of fear, from that place of true love and excitement for how much we can grow and evolve. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it sure does. I love when you say excitement. It's the Buddhists say that the potential for enlightenment. We're not all bodhisattvas right now, but it's really the excitement about what the potential is, and to get there without judgment. Meaning, you may not have the lifestyle or the body or the health that you want now, but you don't fear that you'll never have it and don't do anything. Is that what you're saying? Meaning you talk a lot about your full potential in living the life you dream of, and this sounds like you kind of have some practical tips so you can love yourself but also keep moving forward.
Yeah, definitely. I think it 100% comes back to the way that you start loving yourself is through gratitude. It's such a powerful, and I mean, I learned this back when I was in hospital reading Louise Hay's book. I was like, no one's ever taught me to think of what I'm grateful for. I grew up in a Catholic Italian family where every week we were encouraged to think about our sins. We weren't encouraged to, and then ask God for forgiveness for our sins that we have performed that week. And so I was never taught to think about what you're grateful for until I read that book. And so I remember going, wow, okay, that's such a powerful thing to do. And I began a gratitude journal back then. So this was October 2010, and I still do it every single day. I say every day, at least 3 things I'm grateful for. I write them down. I say them with my husband, because that is the first place to start for radical self-love, is gratitude for what you already have. And we have so much. And I know everyone's experiencing different things, and it's all perspective of where you're at and, the country you live in and the family you're born into. And there is still things that you can find to be grateful for. There's, the pillow that you just got to sleep on, the roof over your head, the food that you get to eat, the friendships in your life, the sunshine. There's so many things. And this was really brought to my attention when my best friend passed away in 2015. She had cancer in her arm and she couldn't use her left arm. And I remember we were doing a workout together one day, and I was like, look, okay, I was taking her through a workout, and I was like, all right, let's do push-ups. And she's like, I can't do push-ups. And I was like, oh my God, she can't do a push-up. Like, she couldn't straighten her arm. She can't put any pressure on her arm. Like, she couldn't even use her arm. And that for me was like, just wow, I'm so grateful I have two arms that
Right.
work and that I can do a single push up with. And it's those little things, those little perspective shifts that you just go, wow, okay, that is huge. And so finding those things and incorporating a regular gratitude practice into your everyday life. If you have children, awesome, do it with them. They love this game. I have a 14-year-old stepson, and we do it over the dinner table every night, 3 things each. And he loves it. And it's really beautiful. And we try and always say different things. But the more you express what you're grateful for, the universe has ears and it's listening to everything that you say, and it will give you more of that. If you're one of those people that's constantly complaining about being tired or not having enough time, the universe is like, all right, like, I'm just going to keep giving you that. I'm going to keep creating more busyness in your life. But the more you express what you're grateful for, the little things, okay, I have a working left arm. I'm so grateful that I have that. Whatever it is, the universe listens and it goes, oh, she is a really nice human. She appreciates what she has. I'm going to give her more things to be grateful for. It's a
Mhm.
simple tool that everyone can do today. You don't even need to write it down. You can type it in your phone if you want to, or you just say it out loud. There's no rules. You don't need fancy journals. You don't need anything. There's no obstacle here. You just need to adopt an attitude of gratitude and incorporate it into your everyday life.
An attitude of gratitude. There's so many things. It's really hard for me to stay quiet right now because there's so many things you're saying that I love. But I want to go back to you talking about coming from a Catholic Italian family and confessing your sins and how that leads to a simple perception shift, right? And of course, we're not saying that you shouldn't confess your sins if that's your religion or whatever it is, but to reframe that and to shift from judging yourself for doing things wrong and needing forgiveness to um, gratitude in a sunset, or just the most mundane things that you get to experience that aren't really that mundane. They're pretty magical when you see a blade of grass or morning dew on a leaf at sunrise. I mean, if you shift your mindset to that, then are you saying that you have more of a connection to the universe or to a higher power and more things manifest for you?
Absolutely. The more you express, like, because it's all energy, right? It's all
Mhm.
energy. And the more that you express what you're grateful for, the universe goes, all right, I'm going to give her more because she's grateful. She appreciates it. And it is a switch that needs to be flicked within yourself. And it is so rewarding and it's so attractive, being around people who are grateful. It's so their energy is more high vibe and they exude vibrancy, and
It's
it's
gorgeous.
contagious. Yeah,
Right? Isn't
exactly.
it
It's
gorgeous? It's
sexy.
beauty
Yeah.
from the inside out. When you see someone
Yeah.
who's grateful and is radiating that, it's gorgeous.
Exactly. Exactly.
So now, clearly, this is a difficult time for everybody. We're in a global pandemic. People are feeling stressed, and some people may say, "How am I to be grateful now?" What's your experience been throughout this?
Mm. It's been so uncertain for so long for so many people. Um, all over the world, it's been uncertain, and one of the things that humans love most is certainty and control, and that has kind of been taken away from us. And I definitely have felt very wobbly at times, and I have come back to gratitude, and that has really helped me. The little things, like you said, the sunset or the sunrise, anytime I'm in nature, just those beautiful moments, having clean water and food and a home, um, a beautiful husband, those sorts of things. So definitely coming back to gratitude during these times is going to really help support you and support your nervous system. And then another thing that I feel like could really help a lot of people is meditation,
Mm-hmm.
especially because of the heightened levels of collective stress and overwhelm, that we've got to do whatever we can to really bring our nervous system down. And meditation is something that we can all do. It's free. You can download one on you, or you can listen to one on YouTube for free. They don't even cost anything, but it's a great way to really calm your nervous system, bring you out of fight or flight, and reduce some of that stress and overwhelm. And I would encourage everyone to do it every single day. This is another thing that I learned when I discovered IIN, and then I discovered yoga and meditation. And I've been doing it since then, and it truly has changed my life. It's had such a huge impact on my life. And I still meditate every single day, especially in times of uncertainty. It's been my anchor. It's been my anchor to come back to my center, because we can feel like we're just kind of floundering up here and overwhelmed, and meditation's a great way to bring you back to your center. So if you don't have a daily practice, I would highly recommend starting one, and then also injecting some gratitude into your daily life.
Those are two great gratitude journal, writing every day, at least 3 things, talking with the family, and meditation. And there's probably some people listening that said, you know what, I hear so much about meditation. I've been feeling like I should meditate, but I feel like I just can't do it. Or like, do I need to really start with 25 minutes of meditation? Or, what do you say to them then?
You definitely don't need to start with 25 minutes. 5 or 10 minutes is great. And everyone has the time. Everyone can find at least 5 minutes. If you have children, go and lock yourself in the car for 5 minutes, or go and lock yourself in the bathroom and sit on the toilet and meditate for 5 minutes, or in your cupboard or whatever. And take that space for you and do it. But start at 5 minutes and just do daily for 5 minutes for a week, and then tune back in and see how you feel. Most likely you'll feel so good that you'll want to add another minute. And then maybe a week later, you might want to add another minute. And there's so many different types of meditations. I've got some incredible guided meditations on my website and on Insight Timer. There's breath meditations. There's mantra-based meditations. Try them all and see which one resonates with you, and then stick to that and commit to it for 3 weeks, and see how you feel before you then make a judgment about it. Because most people, they might try it for a day and they're like, oh, it didn't work for me. But you've got to be consistent, and you've got to keep showing up. Exactly.
Yeah.
It's a muscle. The more you do it, the stronger you get at it. And the more, for me, it's like brushing my teeth. You would never say, Jim, I would never say to you, Jim, you don't need to brush your teeth today. You don't need to do that. Like, you take a shower every day. Sometimes people take 2 showers a day. Maybe they take more. And so a shower washes the dirt off your outside. Meditation washes the dirt off the inside. And so it's like not having a shower for me, every day, or brushing my teeth. I just wouldn't do it. I don't feel as aligned and grounded and centered as I know I can.
Mm-hmm. Unless you're my 12-year-old son who feels like he doesn't have to shower ever or brush his teeth. But I love that analogy of cleaning your inside, your energetic inside. And you said something that, I love to talk about. And it's, people are striving for certainty and control. And we're all striving for certainty and control. And the really thing, there's nothing that we can control. There's 2 certainties, that we're going to have to pay the government taxes and we're going to die. But there's nothing else. So how do we start to let go of that, of that need to be in control and to be certain and kind of just, abide?
I think the awareness of the fact that we literally cannot control anything, And like you said, the only two certain things are taxes, and we are all going to pass one day. We don't know when, and we don't know how. All we know is that one day it will happen. And so we really do need to make the most of this one very precious, sacred life that we have, because we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, and we don't know how much longer we have on this beautiful earth. And so the awareness around that is key. And then looking at all the areas you are holding on. My husband calls it gripping. He's like, look at all the areas you're holding on, like to control, whether it's with your children or around your food or in your work. Like, for example, we just brought someone new onto our team. And because my podcast is just exploding, and it's, we're now doing 3 episodes a week, and we've had millions and millions of downloads, almost 13 million downloads at the time of recording this. And it's so amazing, and we're just loving it. So we needed to bring on another team member. And there's a lot in the podcast process that I'm still doing that I don't necessarily need to be doing, like approving things. And, there's other people in my team that can do that. And this week, my husband, who's the CEO of my business, said, you need to let go of that now. And I was like, no, I'm not ready. I'm not ready. And he's like, babe, you are holding on, and you need, in order for you to grow to the next level in the podcast and in your business, you need to let that go. Mm-hmm. And so it was huge for me. And I like to look at all the areas of my life that I'm gripping, that I'm holding on with white knuckle grip, where I'm trying to control. Maybe it's in a friendship, maybe it's around food or exercise or work, whatever area. If you take some time to look, there'll be areas where you're like, oh yeah, I'm definitely trying to control my kids. Yep. I'm definitely trying to control and shape and want them to show up and be a certain way and act a certain way. And so wherever those areas come up, I literally, in my meditation, visualize releasing and letting that go. And then tuning into how that feels in my body when I do that. Because this doesn't feel as nice as
right.
that. And so I daily in my meditation, I think I go in and I'm like, where am I holding on? Where am I gripping? And I just let it go. And it's been so powerful for me, because it's not fun holding on and trying to control things. It's not fun. It's not fun for anybody. It's just, it causes more stress.
Mm-hmm. It's the attachments, the gripping. Mm-hmm. If you go to the beach and you try to grab sand, it's much easier to cup your hands lightly to get as much sand. You can't hold much in 2 fists.
Yeah, that's a beautiful
I love that
analogy.
And so there's something that we ask, and we kind of always ask this, and it's if there are 5 things, you've kind of already mentioned them, that could get people, practical things that could get people on the track to awareness or to a happier life or to some kind of freedom of worry. And so it sounds like you truly believe in practicing gratitude, a gratitude journal, communicating in gratitude.
Definitely. That would be number 1 for sure.
Mm-hmm. Great. And then the next one was, I think we said
meditation.
And it doesn't have to be 25 minutes. It could start with, right?
Yeah, 5 minutes.
And I love your meditations on your site. You have great meditations. I think people should go to and check those out.
Thank you. Yeah. And
next one was what? Letting go? The next one was awareness.
Yeah, having awareness, definitely. Having awareness and becoming, I think a lot of people walk around their day in a bit of a daze and aren't actually fully present in the moment and aware of how they're showing up. So cultivating more awareness and for all the different areas of your life, and where you're holding on and where you're gripping.
So that's the next one that I heard, was letting your grip loosen a little.
Mm-hmm.
And then what do we think a fifth one could be?
A fifth one could be, I think, finding something that you love to do for work. And whether that is being a health coach or whatever it is, that thing that lights you up, that puts
Mm,
that fire in your belly. Because although you aren't your job, you aren't your career, you aren't the work that you do, you aren't the title, you aren't whatever it says on your business card. That's not who you are. You're that beautiful essence within you. But we do spend a lot of time doing this job thing. And so it's really important that you find something that you love to do, that lights you up, that brings you joy, that you get excited about each and every day to show up to. That doesn't mean it's going to be rainbows and butterflies 24/7. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is find something that just brings you that joy and puts that fire in your belly, because it's something that you have to do every day, or 5 days a week, or however you choose to do it. And it's a huge part of your life. And if that area is flowing, you're going to show up as the best version of yourself in other areas. But usually, if we're doing something that we don't enjoy, if we're doing something that doesn't light us up, we then tend to show up in every other area as this flat version of ourselves.
hmm
And we want to be the best version of ourselves. So find something that really lights you up.
That's a great one. I love your writing and your teaching and your content because it connects with the greater thing of love, self-love, but then you can get very practical, like the 5 tips that we just gave. And once you start doing those 5 tips, you feel pretty good about yourself and you end up loving yourself more. So it's a circle.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So thank you so much for that. So there's a lot of people here that may be thinking about becoming an IIN student, or so let's start with them. What would you say to them? Do you think that, it changed your life? We got to that in the beginning, but like, what if I'm just still debating whether I should spend the time to do it?
Oh, just do it. No matter where you're at, or even if you're not sure if you want to do this as a career, because I wasn't sure. I didn't know I wanted to. I went on to do one-on-one health coaching, definitely. I don't do that anymore, but I definitely started doing that as soon as I could start seeing clients. 6 months in, I started doing that and I loved it. It brought me so much joy. But if you don't even know that that's something you want to do, I would still say dive in, whether you want to just take your own health to the next level. And that's kind of where I went into it. I thought I just want to learn how to nourish myself. No one taught me this. That was kind of how I got into it. I just wanted to get healthy and happy again. Or if you're already in the health industry and you want to add another tool to your wellness toolkit, it's great for that person too. Or if you are listening and you are thinking, I don't love my job and I want to dive into a completely new career, then this is also for you. So wherever you're at, you could benefit. My brother did it. My brother, who is a professional my brother is a professional rugby union player. He did it. And he just wanted the knowledge. He just wanted the knowledge. And he also trains people. So he's very much into the fitness side of things. But he wanted the nutrition knowledge to talk to his clients and the people that he coaches and mentors and stuff like that. But he never wanted to be a health coach. He just wanted the knowledge for himself and to pass on to his clients. And he will tell you as well that it changed his life. And it's so interesting because it's almost like every second person I meet now has done it. And no one has ever said, oh, I wish I didn't do that. Everyone has said it's impacted my life in some way. And even if they didn't go on to do it as a career, the knowledge that they have, they are implementing with their family, with their children. and their parents, and they have been able to take their health to the next level or heal from X, Y, or Z.
Mm-hmm.
And so wherever you're at, it's such an incredible program to take your health to the next level, your family's health, and potentially create an entire new career for yourself if that's what you want.
It's a launching pad. It's a launch pad.
Mm-hmm.
It's good for you and it's good for the world. And you just, now more than ever, that you can be virtual. So there's a lot of other schools out there. I know in Australia too, we have a really large Australian community, and there are a lot of other local schools. But now it's a virtual community. It's a virtual coaching community. So it's really beneficial to have a launch pad or a certification from a brand name that is known and trusted for the credibility and the quality all over the world, and especially in the United States. So that's why I think it's great for Australians to say, hey, I want to be a health coach, or even as a launch pad to be a best-selling author or a real motivator in personal development like you are, Melissa, say, go with a brand that people recognize, because it will bring you further. And instead of a local brand, go to a global brand now that we're virtual and can take coaches from anywhere or give speeches from anywhere. And that's kind of how I evaluated the course when I took it. And that's how I evaluated the company when I came to work here, because I've been a wellness professional for 20 years. Unlike building my own brand name, I built major companies. So I helped create WebMD and Everyday Health and wellness centers and products. And when I came here, I knew it was just a wonderful business and brand, and had the most amazing community with visiting teachers and graduates like yourself. I was just so excited to be a part of it. And now I get to interview people like you, which is so amazing. So I want to say thank you so much for that.
Oh, you're so welcome. Yeah, it's been amazing. And I mean, how many people to date have gone through the program?
Over 110,000.
I mean, look, like, is that not like
Proof enough?
exactly? Like it's amazing from all over the world.
175 countries.
Wow.
So people will be watching this from everywhere. Not only Australia, but the United States, and also we have a large community in Dubai. We have Ireland, Mexico, Argentina. People will be from all over the world watching this. So that's maybe my most favorite part of the community, is that, when you get on these coaching calls, people are joining from everywhere.
And I think that's another thing. And I touched on it at the very start. The friendships that I made in the course, they're still my best friends. They're still in my life. The friendships that you make. And I think as well, because back then when I did it, I was transitioning from party girl Melissa and performer Melissa to now yogi meditating Melissa. And so your friendship circles do transition. And so I had been introduced, and basically through IIN, I was put into an environment of like-minded soul sisters and brothers. And I thought, wow, this is so beautiful to have like-minded people that want to not go out partying and instead go and have a coconut, and not go, shopping and instead go to a yoga class. Like
Right.
It was mind-blowing for me, and it really gave me a lot of hope. And this was before Instagram. So we'd had Facebook, but, social media wasn't as big back then, 10 years ago. And so I'm just so grateful, because it also brought so many beautiful, beautiful people into my life.
That I love that story, and you have an amazing story. And it seems like you've been good at both things, from dancing at the Moulin Rouge, I think I read, all the way to, reaching a global audience in regard to your meditation. So, I think that people should follow in your footsteps and really try this out. You have really nothing to lose, because I think also if they mention your name, our team has a few bonuses and some discounts for them. So that's a fantastic thing. But
Yes.
let's leave them with something, Melissa. What do you think? What do you have something that you think that if someone turns off their Zoom and is left thinking about something on their next step and what they should do, is it get a notebook, get a journal right now and write down 3 things, or is it go and research what integrity is to build your confidence, or is it just to tell your husband or your wife you love them? What would it be? I know that's a tough one that I sprung on you.
I think the most powerful thing and empowering thing that you could do right now is really feel and know that you are worthy of having the life, the business, the friendships, the health that you desire. No matter what your inner mean girl or your inner bad boy, as I say, is telling you, if it's saying you're not worthy of it, you're not good enough, you're not smart enough, who do you think you are? Master that, mute that, because you are worthy of having everything that your heart desires, the health, the career, everything. And you need to remember that, being here alive in this earth suit at this time means you are worthy. It was such a miracle that you're even here. For you to be born at this time in this body, it is a pure miracle. And you deserve all that your heart desires. So maybe after this call, grab a pen and paper and write down what it is that you want with your health, with your career, in your relationships, in every area of your life. Write down what you desire and then put in action, one step at a time, one foot in front of the other each day to make that manifest. And whether that's starting and enrolling in IIN, if that's something that you want, then maybe that's your next step. It was definitely a powerful and big step for me, which I'm so grateful I took. And at the time, I had to borrow the money. So just know that you're worthy. You're worthy of having all that your heart desires, no matter where you are, how old you are, anything, you are worthy of it.
I love that. You're worth it. You deserve it. And when you recognize that and start taking steps towards it, you have unlimited potential.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for joining us today. It was so great to talk to you. And I guess we'll see each other on Instagram again soon.
Yes, definitely. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, thanks.